Welcome to the Mama Needs a Moment podcast with your hosts, Chrissy and Cindy, co-founders of HER Health Collective, and moms who understand the chaos of juggling it all. But here's the thing, your well-being matters. That's why we're on a mission to change the way moms take care of themselves. This season, every episode features a roundtable conversation, bringing together trusted experts from different backgrounds to talk about the topics that matter most to moms, creating space for more collaborative, whole person care. These episodes are short, meaningful, and easy to fit into real life. You'll hear from our HER expert providers sharing expert insight and real-life tips you can use right away. Learn more about them in our free provider directory linked in the show notes. So take a deep breath, grab your coffee, and let's make these moments count. Welcome back to Mama Needs a Moment, and a special welcome to our HER expert providers joining us for today's roundtable conversation on holistic beauty and wellness rituals for overwhelmed moms. This series is all about realistic, life-giving practices that help moms feel grounded, restored, and more connected to themselves without adding more pressure, perfectionism, or impossible routines, because that's what we all want. Together, we're going to explore simple nervous system resets, mindset shifts, sensory grounding practices, connection-centered parenting, and approachable beauty and wellness rituals that actually fit into real life. Before we dive in, each of our experts will briefly introduce themselves and share their area of focus. And don't forget, these conversations are also available in video format on our YouTube channel. All right, let's go ahead and get started.
Hello, everybody. I'm Tiffany Webb. I am the owner of Stillness and Skin Skincare Studio. I help women navigate and understand their skin during transitions and just really using skincare as a way to reconnect to themselves and own beauty on their own terms. So I work mostly with women in like their late 30s, going into 60s, dealing with perimenopause and menopause, but honestly, anybody in transition. So from teenager to young adult, your pregnancy, postpartum, any transition at all.
I'm Irene Gooch with Loving Lessons Sleep Solutions, and I support parents as a postpartum doula and sleep coach. And I work with families that have newborns through the school age season, and specifically with parents who are exhausted, overwhelmed, and they have tried everything with their child that's sensitive, very alert, and has a case of FOMO, fear of missing out. I use a holistic approach through the Calm and Confident Sleep Foundation to pinpoint the root cause of that sleep disruption. We build a clear plan together and give parents the tools to move forward with confidence. And parents then can learn to lead sleep and have sleep coaching success when they can show up and feel calm, confident, and rested.
I'm Naseem. I'm a licensed professional counselor, and I own Javon Coaching. It's a therapy practice and coaching practice that supports moms with anxiety, depression, perfectionism, people pleasing. And my coaching practice covers and supports women who are struggling with overwhelm, the identity shift in becoming a mom, and also supporting the communication with their partner and decreasing resentment.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sarah Parise. I'm the founder of Great Days by Sarah, because I think everyone, especially moms, deserve to have more great days. And I'm an ACE certified personal trainer and accountability coach. So I think food, fitness, and then finding your best self in motherhood. And I do everything under the 2% umbrella. So 2% of the day goes back to you. If you're not a mathematician, it is 28 and a half minutes. So we break it down to 28 minutes for yourself each and every day. So when we are our best, we can show up our best to everyone else we want to care for.
So when moms are overwhelmed, connection can unintentionally become the first thing that gets sacrificed. We default to no a lot. I'm guilty of it. Can we go outside to play together? Can we go for a walk? No, we have to get ready for bed. That's because moms are multitasking constantly. We're emotionally overloaded and trying to get through the day. But often children aren't asking for perfection. They're asking for us to just be present with them. And interestingly, connection can regulate both the parent and the child.
How can overwhelmed moms create more meaningful connections with their children without feeling like they need to have or do more?
I think it's important to think about, like, we've been talking about our day-to-day routine and all the things that we have to do, right? We have to get to school pickup on time. We have to have dinner ready. Like, those are the things that we have to do. And those are the daily tasks that are repetitive. And for kids, those are the only times that they're with you, right? They're only with you in the mornings and they're only with you in the evenings. So I feel like moms put a lot of pressure on themselves to not only do to have the connection, but also to do those two things perfectly. And so I think learning to let go where we can is important, but also because those are going to be repetitive tasks that we do with our kids, can we couple them with tasks that the kids also want to do? Meaning, like, okay, I know that I have to cook dinner, but my kid wants to also play for 5 minutes. Is there a way for me to do both? Is it possible for me to pause on dinner and do 5 minutes of hide and seek? And if it's not possible, am I able to still repair that connection and say, hey, I really want to do this with you. Give me 5 minutes, let me finish dinner, and then we're going to play hide and seek together. So being able to slow down and be intentional as we've discussed in these moments when possible. And also, like I said, if we're preparing a task that we want to do with a task the kids want to do, like an unpreferred and a preferred task together, I think that can be really helpful to meet their needs too.
For me, I think I often come back to how are they going to remember the day? So I think I find myself doing this because my kids are 7 and 9. I had kids a little bit older in life, so I'm a little bit older than most of the moms that I'm around. But I find myself asking that question a lot of like, how are they going to remember this day? Are they going to remember that as I was cooking dinner, I was also checking emails when they were sitting at the counter doing their homework, or was I engaged with them also while I was cooking dinner? And really, the truth is, my emails can wait. And at the end of the day, if you ask, like, did you hang out with your mom today? Like, I always want the answer to be yes. Even if they're at school all day and they have sports at night, there has to be some moment for me for connection throughout the course of the day. So I think that's what I come back to a lot is like, how do I want them to remember it? And how do I want to have my head hit the pillow at the end of the day? And how do I want to remember it?
I love that, Sarah. That's so beautiful. Like, how do I want them to remember me? And I think some of that too, for me, that I work on with families is thinking about the division of responsibility. This actually comes from like the Ellen Satter Institute. She talks about the division of responsibility for feeding, like where are things happening? What are my kiddos eating? And what is that? What is my child's job? And that my child's job is to have their feelings and emotions about that. Well, I talk a lot about that with sleep as well, because that also incorporates the things that we do during those wakeful windows. So it's always thinking about how do I invite my children into the rhythms and routines. I wanted to share, like, I had a homeschooling mom with 4 kiddos, and she was like, laundry is killing me. I just can't do laundry. She's like, there's always laundry. I was like, if we could all just walk around naked, might make it easier. But we always have laundry. And, one of the things we brainstormed and talked about was like, how could she let go and what responsibilities could she share with her children? So she started thinking about when is she doing that and how was she going to invite the 1-year-old and the 12-year-old and what did that look like? Well, it turns out now all the kids love doing laundry and they fold better than mom. And like it was a really awesome story, but she didn't realize like she was always doing this. And sometimes we don't recognize the roles and responsibilities we're taking on that we could potentially delegate and have fun through these moments. And dinner time, like Nassim was saying earlier, is always a great time to invite our kiddos in. We can play and have fun through those moments.
This episode is brought to you by Her Circle, the ultimate community for moms looking for real connections, meaningful experiences, and expert support.
From mom's night out and family adventures to book club, volunteer opportunities, and expert workshops, Her Circle is where moms come together to learn, laugh, and lift each other up.
Spots are limited, so join the waitlist at herhealthcollective.com/membership.
Yeah, and I agree pretty much with everybody, all these different ways that we can involve the kids and then checking in to make sure we're present with them. A big thing with me in practice, I we as humans, we all co-regulate together. And so I know that whatever energy I'm bringing, then I'm going to naturally help my client in that moment shift. And so if we look at that through the lens of the different things we do at home with our kids and taking a moment to say, like, it's okay if, like, I don't get, like, Sarah said, the email's done, right? Like they can wait. Right now, I'm just going to breathe. I'm going to cook dinner. I'm going to chat with the kids. I'm going to co regulate together because you looking at emails or you trying to handle 1,000 different things, your brain is all over the place. You're also cooking. Your energy field is like very hyped up. And so your kids also are going to be very hyped up, because they're co-regulating with you. Like, oh, mom is not okay. She's like very anxious. What's going on? Now they're on high alert. And so just bringing that whole thought process of we co-regulate together. And sometimes those little mini moments of you just being like, this one thing can wait. Let me just be present in this moment means the world to your kids and also to just you yourself.
I want to share one thing just quickly because, a mom listening to this might be like, okay, well, I just have to start adding all these little rituals in. But I think what is really going to be important is like, I think it's important to connect with somebody who can help you talk through the opportunity to create some of these rituals because sometimes we can be stuck in our heads. I'm an overthinker and I can get stuck in my head. So sometimes I have to reach out to my community, to my coach and things like that to get support. So, it's going to be really important just to think about that piece here because again, we can get stuck in that overwhelm and thinking I have to do this all by myself.
I love that, Irene. One of the things that came up in this conversation was this feeling of overwhelm that moms can feel, and how when we feel overwhelmed, it can be harder to reach for connection. I know for me, when I'm feeling overwhelmed, I often turn to overfunctioning. I often turn to just doing everything myself because it's easier and I can just get it done quicker. And that's not very helpful to our kids. And in many cases, that keeps us from empowering our children to learn a new skill or a habit for themselves. So I would love to know if anybody has any tricks around when you are overwhelmed and you do naturally turn to overfunctioning. I know you're going to tell me to just pause and take a breath, but it's really hard in the moment. So if you have anything in addition to that, I'd love to hear what you have.
I'm a big to-do list person. So when I'm feeling really overwhelmed and I feel like I really can't, like when it's just the world is heavy and everything's feeling like a little bit too hard to do anything, I write down like kind of sometimes three different columns, a lot of times just two columns, what I absolutely need to do, and then what can wait till tomorrow. And then sometimes what can wait till like next week. Like I find myself on my digital calendar when I'm feeling overwhelmed of like, do I need to do this thing on Thursday or can it get pushed to next Tuesday when things are a little bit slower? So being able to write it all out helps me like on a physical piece of paper and then to just do one thing. Because a lot of times we need that dopamine hit of I crossed it off my list. I got one thing done. And I think that for me really helps just kind of bring me back to like what is important and what has to be done today. And sometimes the list is long and it is overwhelming, but I do find knocking one thing off kind of motivates me again to be like, okay, I got this. I can do this.
So I have a framework that I share with my families, and it's the breathe love mantra. And it is like that stop and pause, but it really is like that one other step of like thinking about what am I breathing into this moment. And so I'm asking myself to take a moment to breathe love into it, to come from a place of love and learning. Or am I coming from a place of fear and judgment? And me just being able to ask myself that quick question oftentimes can help me reset and realize, like, oh, like I am bringing in some judgment into this moment. I am starting to put more stress or pressure on myself. So being able to step back and really say, like, what does my child need? Or what is it that I need in this moment? Because love stands for we're going to listen, we're going to observe, we're going to validate and empower the situation. And when we observe and notice that, it helps us reset. And so it's just enough. And there's times I'm going to tell you, like you were saying, like nobody wants to just pause and breathe. It's annoying, but sometimes like it's that good, gentle reminder of like, I'm going to take a moment to just breathe love into this moment, But recognizing that maybe we need to move our body, and like that's where like that roaring like a lion or like a bear can be a helpful tool to kind of bring in that movement and then reset and take that next step.
Similar to you, Irene, I also have kind of like a little acronym that I do. I learned this practice years ago. It's called SAFE. And so it's bring hand to heart. And SAFE pretty much means the S is going to be stop. Okay. So we stop, take a breath. And then the A is going to be acknowledge. So we acknowledge like what's happened, what's going on. And then the F is going to be like, now I'm going to feel the emotions, let it kind of like process right now. What am I feeling? And then the E would be like we expand, or like what is the next step that I can do to move out of this moment? And so now a lot of times without even thought for me, when I do that hand to heart, it's become kind of like my signal of like, okay, we need to stop. Where am I at? What's going on? Where am I at with it? What's one thing I can do to move forward? So I love that.
The hand to heart is such a big like step. Like it is an action that we can take, which is really huge. Thanks for sharing that.
Thank you guys. I think those are very helpful strategies. I think we've been talking about slowing down, intentionality, and connection. Obviously, those are very important. I think that we oftentimes approach motherhood as we do any other job, right? Like we look and say, oh, well, if I've done this checklist and I've done all of these things, then I'm going to be successful, right? And I think, like to everyone's point, if I can reduce those tasks to, okay, I'm going to try to build connection with my kid, slow things down, focus on not trying to fix their big emotions or feelings in a moment. Because I think in those moments we often like we want to correct like the negative big emotions from our kids. But if we're able to say, okay, this is like a wide range of emotions, these are normal, and I need to be able to experience them too. And how do I teach my kid to slow down and be intentional as well? I feel like that is by by providing them these strategies, by providing them these moments. So not wanting to step in and quickly fix their reactions, being able to sit with them when they're having moments of overwhelm. And so I think that in my mind, I feel like that's like the most important thing. If we're able to not want to quickly fix and allow them to have those difficult, challenging moments, and allow ourselves to have those moments too. Like sometimes we need to walk away. Sometimes we need to just go and take a shower and just be able to calm ourselves down rather than feeling like we have to continue to do more things on our checklist, and we can delegate and outsource and ask for support.
There were so many helpful tips and tricks and mantras and acronyms in this episode. I'm really excited to actually re-listen to this one multiple times and take notes. I really think there's a lot of good little nuggets in there. So thank you, everybody, for sharing your very hard-earned wisdom around connection over perfection, especially when it comes to parenting. For our next episode, we are turning to mindset, anxiety, and the mental load of motherhood. And y'all, I could talk about this all day. This is a topic near and dear to my heart.
Be sure to come back and join us for our next episode, where you can get more information from our HER Plus expert providers in this current roundtable discussion on holistic beauty and wellness rituals for overwhelmed moms.
That's a wrap. You carved out a few moments just for yourself, and that's a big deal.
We understand that time is limited, but we've got your back, which is why we keep these episodes short, sweet, and packed with goodness.
Don't miss a thing. Hit the follow button so you're always the first to know when a new episode drops. If you had as much fun as we did, let us know by leaving a review.
And remember to let other moms know that we're here doing motherhood alongside you, grateful to share a few moments taking care of you.